The NFL makes $23 billion a year. The Super Bowl is the most watched broadcast in American history. It's the richest league on the planet. And yet, it has one of the worst profit margins in all of professional sports. Meanwhile, a tournament most Americans have spent years ignoring is about to walk away with a profit margin 3 times higher than the NFL's. By the time this World Cup ends, FIFA could pocket more profit than the NFL, F1, and Taylor Swift's Eras Tour combined. Here's how much each of these made this year. The NFL, $23 billion. The World Cup 2026, a projected $8.9 billion. The Paris Olympics, around $4.7 billion. Formula One, $3.87 billion. And the Eras Tour, just over $2 billion. Look at that list and the NFL seems completely untouchable, almost 3 times bigger than the World Cup, and bigger than everyone else combined. It's not even close to the others. But forget all of that for a second. Because revenue isn't the question that actually matters here. Profit is. Anyone can bring in billions of dollars if they're also spending billions of dollars to get there. The real question, the one nobody asks, is this. Who actually walks away with the most money in their pocket at the end of the day, after every single bill gets paid? Let's start with the NFL. Every single team is forced to spend almost half its revenue on players, whether the owners like it or not. It's called the salary cap, and in 2025, it hit $279.2 million per team, a brand new record. That's not a choice, it's the law of the league. Multiply that across 32 teams, then add travel, staff, marketing, and stadium operations. And the NFL spends close to $19 billion just to put on a single season. Out of $23 billion in revenue, that leaves an operating profit margin of just 17.7% for the entire league. The richest league on the entire planet keeps less than 18 cents of every single dollar it makes. Surprising, right? Well, trust me, we're just getting started here. This is only the beginning. Now, look at Formula One. Liberty Media, the company that owns F1, pulled in $3.87 billion in 2025, a brand new all-time record for the sport. Sounds incredible, until you realize 45% of that, $1.4 billion, goes straight to the 10 teams on the grid under a secretive deal called the Concord Agreement. After logistics, hospitality, and running races across 5 continents, F1's profit margin lands at 16.3%, almost identical to the NFL. Even though one is run by billionaire team owners who refuse to sell, and the other one literally trades on the New York Stock Exchange every single day. Then there's Taylor Swift. The Eras Tour made $2.077 billion in ticket sales alone, across 149 sold-out shows around the entire world. No salary cap, no Concord Agreement, just one woman, a stage, and a touring crew. Her profit margin? Almost 40%. That's more than double the NFL, and more than double Formula One. One single artist just out-earned 2 of the biggest sports leagues on the entire planet, percentage-wise, and almost nobody seemed to notice. And here's the part that should really bother you. Every single one of these numbers we just covered, the NFL, F1, even Taylor Swift, is about to get completely crushed by something most Americans have spent their entire lives ignoring. Stick around, because the next number is going to make all of this look small. Now let's talk about the Olympics. Paris 2024 brought in close to $4.7 billion. Over 12 million tickets sold. 3 billion people watching around the world. By every measure, it looked like the most successful Olympics in history. So how much profit did they walk away with? $28 million. That's it. On $4.7 billion in revenue, the Paris Olympics kept a profit margin of less than 1%. Less than 0.5%, actually. To put that in perspective, Taylor Swift made more profit from a handful of stadium shows than the entire Olympic Games made from hosting the whole planet for 2 weeks. And here's why. Unlike the NFL or F1, the Olympics don't get to keep most of what they make. The International Olympic Committee gives away around 90% of its revenue to national federations, athlete programs, and the next Olympic host city. Paris alone had to run 40,000 volunteers, house 10,000 athletes, build entire venues from scratch, and hand most of the money right back out the door. So if the Olympics barely break even, and the NFL only keeps 17 cents on the dollar, and even F1 caps out around 16%. What's left? What event on this list could possibly do better than all of them? You're not ready for this next one. The World Cup 2026 is projected to bring in $8.9 billion. On its own, that's already less than half of what the NFL makes in a year. Not exactly the king of revenue, but watch what happens to the costs. FIFA's entire operating budget to run this World Cup, all 16 stadiums, 3 countries, 104 matches, security, broadcasting, everything, comes out to around $3.76 billion. $8.9 billion in revenue, $3.76 billion in costs. That leaves a profit of roughly $5.1 billion. Do the math on that, and FIFA's profit margin lands at almost 57%. Let that sink in for a second. The NFL, 17.7%. Formula 1, 16.3%. The Olympics, less than 1%. The World Cup, 57%. FIFA isn't just beating these other organizations. It's not even in the same league. And here's the part that makes it even more insane. FIFA is paying out a record $871 million in prize money to the players this year, the biggest payout in the sport's history. And that record number still adds up to less than 10% of what FIFA takes home. So how does an organization that doesn't own a single stadium, doesn't pay a single player's salary, and runs a tournament that only happens once every 4 years, end up more profitable than the richest sports league on earth? Here's the secret. FIFA doesn't own a single stadium. Every venue, from Dallas to Mexico City to Toronto, belongs to someone else. The host cities and governments pay to build and renovate them. FIFA just shows up and uses them for a few weeks. FIFA doesn't pay player salaries either. Lionel Messi, Mbappe, every superstar on that field, their checks come from their clubs, not from FIFA. The NFL has to hand nearly half its revenue to players because that's the deal. FIFA simply doesn't have that problem. And FIFA doesn't run a season. The NFL plays games every single week, 52 weeks a year, with 32 franchises burning money on staff, travel, and operations the entire time. FIFA runs one tournament once every 4 years, then mostly shuts the machine down until the next cycle. Meanwhile, the money keeps flowing in from broadcasting deals, sponsorships, and ticket sales, almost all of it landing directly in FIFA's accounts, with almost nothing flowing back out to keep the lights on. It's the closest thing to a license to print money that exists in modern sports. Rent the stage, sell the rights, let everyone else pay for the production. Walk away with 57 cents on every dollar. So next time someone tells you the World Cup isn't a big deal in America, that it's just soccer, that it'll never be as big as the NFL, ask them one simple question. Who's actually walking away richer? The NFL generates more money than anyone, but it gives almost half of it away by law and keeps less than 18 cents on the dollar. The Olympics host the entire planet and barely break even. Even Taylor Swift, with no leagues, no players, no Concord agreements, can't touch what FIFA pulls off. One tournament, once every 4 years. No stadiums to maintain, no players to pay, no season to run. And somehow, it walks away with more profit, percentage-wise, than anything else we just talked about. The World Cup isn't just a soccer tournament. It might be the single most efficient money-making machine in the history of sports. And it's happening right now in your backyard.